go for two here.
He's going for two.
If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win.
Got it! One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it. That's just a heck of a play.
Go for two here. Go for two here.
Got it! One-handed catch.
All right, guys, welcome in. We are live. Episode 50, boys and girl, because usually we're not here, but episode 50 presented by Toboggan. And because it's episode 50, special episode, we're watching the Home Run Derby. We thought we'd bring a friend back. So Chelsea Carey, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, hey, anytime. And Chad's been pushing for this because he missed the last time. So he wanted to pick your brain a little bit about curling too. So
For sure.
So Chad is back, and everyone is here today. So we're watching the Home Run Derby. Obviously, if anybody's betting on the Home Run Derby, we all know what site we're going to bet for the Home Run Derby, and that's Cool Bet. But before we get started on that, you obviously watched a little bit of UFC this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Chelsea, did you see any UFC?
I missed it. I saw the highlights after, but I couldn't. I was out. I didn't have access to it.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean,
That's all you needed.
Our bet
Yeah.
didn't hit. Yeah. I think we lost both, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we
for
lost
sure.
both legs, but we only lost one leg in both fights.
Oh, did you see Money Floyd won some money though?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he bet on Poirier. He won 35,000.
What an
Yeah.
asshole.
Just a small one, and then threw a little shout out to him after. Oh, thanks for making me some money tonight.
And then he put a picture of Conor with a broken leg saying, why don't you go do the snaky leg now?
What did you
that
think
is-
about Conor being interviewed at the side of the cage? Was that just weird to you, or is that just like I don't? Is he taking like a champ, or is like get the hell out of here, man?
So there's two ways I look at this. Number one, he's a fucking genius as a businessman. He knew he lost that fight. The first thing he did was like, I have to make sure everybody knows that I'm fighting again. I have to build hype because right now he's lost 3 of his last fights. He's only beat Cowboy Cerrone, who's washed up.
Hasn't
He's
won
beat
since
nobody.
Obama's been in office. They called him out for that early before the fight.
Yeah, and he beat a washed up Cowboy.
Yeah.
So he had no choice. And as a businessman, it was smart. Start getting that fight out there right away, putting his name out there, making sure people don't forget about him as he's in rehab. That being said, taking shots at somebody's wife, that's going too far. Saying you're going to murder them in your sleep, man, this guy just picked you apart. Like your leg breaking saved you from pretty much your career would have been over.
And the wife standing there flipping him off too at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Like,
because
the only thing
he
that
blew her up.
Yeah.
He's saying that she's in his DM and that she's a whore. Like, have some class in the feet, man. I understand you want to build up the next fight, but to go at somebody's wife who has absolutely nothing to do with this and say you're going to murder them, like, you are so classless. Like, that's going beyond pumping up a fight.
Well, the dude's done, right?
Yeah, I think for me, Poirier has no reason to take another fight against McGregor, and I think McGregor was doing everything he could to get inside of his head because if you look back at almost every fight Poirier has, he always mentions he's excited to go home to his daughter and his wife. It's always what he talks about. So he's just trying to take a shot there over the bow, hoping that maybe Poirier reacts, and he did get a bit of a reaction. Like Poirier kind of got held back a little bit. I think he was more trying to say something than react on it, but I think that's just McGregor trying to stay relevant. Is he going to stay relevant? I mean, he's like, you know, a billionaire. You talked about that before the press conference, before the fight. So he'll be relevant. But
that's the question I was going to ask our athlete because you guys are couch warriors. I'm going to ask the athlete. If you were Conor McGregor, you've made $180 million fighting and all your other side businesses. Like, why would you even continue to get punched in the face for whatever the UFC is paying him?
I couldn't tell you. If I had that kind of money, I just don't. And I mean, he's already won stuff, and then now he's not winning when he does fight, and so I just don't really get it. I mean, it's one thing to to love what you do, but I think probably the best thing to do would be to retire. But that being said, if he came out tomorrow and said he was retiring, none of us would believe him because how many times has he said that by now?
Right, that's fair. But you'd think like he loses his like killer instinct at some point.
Well, yeah,
He lost it years
the
ago.
will. Yeah, and the will to train and everything, and he's talked about that publicly with not putting the same amount of training in and stuff as when he was winning everything. So I just don't know why keep doing it unless A, you like the attention, B, you've blown through too much of your money or something. I don't know, but yeah, I
Maybe.
don't really get it. I think it's a little strange for him to continue to. It would be one thing if they were good fights, but they haven't been.
Well, I mean, he probably sells quite a bit of that. Like, I'm assuming it's shit whiskey, right? Like, there's not many whiskeys that have commercials that are any good. Yeah, yeah. And Liam is an Irish guy, and he's saying that he doesn't like the whiskey. So I would imagine that we'll see him again. I think that we're all pretty much in agreement that we shouldn't see him again in a UFC ring. Like maybe the Royal Rumble. Like your leg's probably better by like January, and you go win the Royal Rumble or something.
It's crazy just how fast it's the fans have really kind of turned on Conor. Like, well, me, like as an outside fan looking at Conor was always awesome to me because he trash talked and he put up his trash talk. He hasn't been doing it lately, but his trash talk the before press conference this last week was brutal. It sounded like a scared man. It didn't sound like somebody who was confident to go into the fight. Everything Poirier had to say was very nonchalant, like, yeah, but I'm just ready for it. I'm ready for it. And Conor's having to try and stay in the conversation by saying something aggressive towards a journalist. Like, it was weird to me. It just did not look like the old Conor, the confident, like the trash talking that was confident.
Yeah, and I mean, he might have taken up a lot of our time here because I don't think that we've talked about UFC and Conor McGregor this much on the show ever. And we're talking about him not even finishing a fight, right? He went to punch somebody and his brittle bone broke because he didn't drink enough milk while he was training. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys want to pivot and talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs of soccer?
The Toronto Maple Leafs, what?
Of soccer? You didn't see Team England?
Oh, I saw that. Yes, the major letdown just to get there. But they thought they won it after a couple of minutes. They certainly did, didn't they?
There's a lot of celebration going on. I mean, I don't know all the rules in soccer, and I kept seeing guys take their jerseys off and like randomly coming in and out of the game. So I was really confused by what was happening. But I will say, I bet Italy, so that was a good thing. I won that one.
Oh, it's such a shame that it has to come down to penalty kicks, though. Like, why can't this be made golden goal at this point? That's what we want.
Yeah, I was
No one
watching
wants
it.
to watch a soccer game for 4 hours.
Right, for sure. But the other thing I didn't understand is why does everybody only go for the bottom post? Like, why is
Okay, no,
nobody
that
lifting the
was
ball
just
up?
that was just not normal. You don't go for the same place 4 times in a row. If it didn't work twice, don't try it 3 and 4 times.
Right.
Come on, there's a whole lot of net there.
Chelsea, you get to see Euros at all?
Not the final. I watched a little bit of it here and there throughout the event, but I didn't. I was out of town for the final.
Yeah. I the only game I watched was the final, and I really saw like the last 30 minutes of it plus the penalty kick. So, I mean, good for Italy. They won. It felt like it was one of those like old finals that that was like in the 90s when it seemed like it was England and Portugal, or something like that. But I don't know. It was cool.
Did you see the possession time though? Like England didn't even deserve to be in that game. It was like 80-20 or 70-30 or something like that. Yeah. That's what. Come on, England didn't deserve to be in that game. They got lucky off the hop and just try to ride that wave. Now maybe that was the mentality, right? Just get on top and then hopefully we can just ride this out for the next 60 minutes. But that was.
Is that your strategy all the time, Caleb?
You read me like a book, didn't you?
Yeah, you just set that one right up.
Yeah, I saw Chad's face light up as soon as you said that. So good for you for setting him up like that. I'm sure he appreciates it. But yeah, I mean, like, think of being an England fan, and I mean, obviously you're not gonna not cheer for your country anymore, but you finally get to where you need to be. The Euro Finals is in your home stadium, and you're playing in it. You score 2 minutes into the game, and you lose on penalty kicks because a couple of guys like made a couple bad stutter steps. How does that even work?
I don't know if you saw it or not, but did you see how they handled it after with the Italian fans leaving the stands?
Nope.
These guys are walking out the doors, like there's no window doors, right? And as soon as they get out, it's there's 1 or 2 of them. They're getting mobbed by 10 or 11 England fans. And I'm talking mobbed, like mob beat, rat packed. It was ugly. Yeah, it was a very big black eye for English fans, for sure.
Wow. It's probably going to be the first, last, and only time we talk about soccer on here, but I figured since it brought a little bit of money in the bank, we might as well at least mention it. But
Last minute money for you though, right? You a little
Yeah.
nervous there or what?
well, 2 minutes into the game, I was a little bit worried when I was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen in soccer. That's ridiculous. It's like squaring off the face-off. But yeah, I don't know. I felt pretty good afterwards, and then I had Milwaukee to cover last night too. So I had a pretty good Sunday after a shitty Saturday for UFC. But we're hoping to keep the streak alive because I went and put money on Pete Alonso for this thing. So they're doing the warm-ups here. I got it on. They haven't actually started going, so I'm sure there's time to actually go and make a bet there. But I took Alonso to win tonight, and I'll let you guys say your picks and why you picked it. I picked Alonso last week, so I'm not really going to explain it again.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay, so I mean, I'm cheering for my boy Shohei, but my dark horse is Gallo. I really think that Gallo's gonna in Colorado with the opportunities to hit some fly balls like that. It's gonna be awesome.
And they are using juiced up balls, eh?
Is that what they are? Are they using last year's balls then?
Well, they're using what's called a home run derby ball.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
Now, I think Alonso, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I think he changed who's pitching to him. I think I was seeing that today. His cousin
I
pitched
thought
to
you were
him
going to tell
last
me he got hurt. And I was
Yeah,
like, you're
it's
an
not.
asshole.
It's not his cousin. It's like they're a coach or something. They were saying.
Yeah, their third base coach or pitching coach or something like that. He was changing it up. So he fired his cousin. Even though he won, he fired his cousin to have a better opportunity this year.
You got to be cutthroat.
Yeah.
There's money on the line.
Yeah. When I got him, he was plus 580. Now, last I looked, he was down to like plus 535 or something like that. So, I mean, good value. I mean, it's going to make it entertaining to watch this as long as he doesn't get rolled in the first round.
Yeah.
So, Chelsea, who'd you get? Who'd you
Otani.
pick? Okay.
It's hard to bet against him, and like I think you can throw
No-brainer.
anything at me and like say which is Shohei Otani capable of doing this, and I would always just say yes. So it just
Yeah.
it was just hard to go against him.
Well, interesting question. So I saw like a little special on him on MLB Network yesterday, and like they also called him a heartthrob. So when I looked at it, I was like, that's so weird, like because I only ever like see it like he's just playing baseball. But would you see Shohei Otani as a heartthrob? Like, is that a guy that like stands out above the pack?
Not for me personally, but that's a taste thing.
Well, I just mean in
He's a
general.
big
Like,
boy. He big.
Yeah.
He built. Come on.
Yeah,
yeah, no,
I could see how people would. Like I've never really thought twice about it, to be honest. But
yeah. Well, I thought it was weird too when they put it in the thing. So I was like, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Maybe I didn't look at him the right way. I don't know. Maybe the sun hasn't caught his face on the right angle for me yet.
He's the face of Anaheim right now.
Yeah.
Which isn't saying much, but come on.
All right. Well, Chad,
Good point.
make your pick because I know you had some really deep insights in this one.
I did a lot of research on this, and I dug down into the stats, and I'm gonna go with Trey Mancini only because he went to Notre Dame, and that is my only reasoning of doing it.
Yeah.
Got to stick with my home team here.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
just
I
a
think he has
fantastic
the worst
idea.
odds. I think he has
Yeah.
the worst odds of everybody in there, but he's gonna shock the world tonight.
Yeah.
So
I think Alonso's pitcher has better odds than Mancini is to win.
speaking of shock the world, I don't know if you saw that article or not about Otani not taking batting practice all year too.
I just watched him take batting practice 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, well, that's just what the Angels coach has been saying. He hasn't taken one. He takes like mini drills and stuff like that, but no real batting practice in 2021.
It seems to be working for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 33 dingers. Woo.
Well, and I mean, if Chelsea's right, he's probably going to have about 75 today.
So how far does he go? You said the other day you don't think anybody's breaking 500. I think 525 is a very reasonable. After what Shohei did the last week, I think didn't he get 460 or 470 in Anaheim the other day?
Oh, you're talking about like the longest home run.
Yeah.
Man, I
think
was
525,
hoping
man.
this was going to be on Coolbet, but they didn't end up putting it up. But I don't think that anyone's breaking 500 feet.
Really, man,
Yeah.
with juiced up balls in Colorado.
That's a far way to go, man. 500 feet's a far.
Yeah, but that's
distance.
Shohei
Yeah.
did 460 or 470 just the other day in Anaheim. Like I think with the altitude and everything, I think we're going to see a few people break 500. And I think there was another guy actually. I actually might have been Mancini that I saw that broke 450 or something like that too.
All right.
Just
So
really this week.
what's going to be our wager? Because like I love making you do dumb shit. So you just said a few people. So that means You're saying there's
3.
going to be at least 3 people that go over 500.
I think Gallo can go over 5.
Well, I think that they all probably could if you give them a metal bat and a slow pitch. But we're
Come
talking about
on!
this is the major leagues, man.
Yeah, and they're still getting pitched change-ups down the middle of the pipe.
All right, so what's the bet?
I don't know. You name it. We have a whole show to think about it.
Okay.
I'm not cutting my hair. It has nothing to do with my beard or my hair. Putting that on the line.
Well, if you want to take care of hair, we just got a new partnership. We're not going to introduce it right now, but it really helps you mow your lawn, if you will. Yeah.
Oh.
So watch the socials for that. We're not going to announce it on the day Chelsea's here, and she's going to be like, "These guys are assholes. They didn't tell me they're about to break some news." You do not want to be a part of this. It's probably a cool little tool for men to get, but yeah, we'll leave it there. Yeah. So what are we thinking, Chelsea? What are we gonna make Kalen do when less than 3 people go over?
I have no idea, but I like the betting action. I'm supportive of this plan.
So the last time he lost our pick'em bet, he had to go sit in the Thames River, which is just like a huge river that goes to our city, in his underwear in Was it February?
Yeah.
It was March.
Yeah, it was March.
With snow on the ground.
Yeah, there's a video on our Facebook of it. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Inadvertently, we all saw what Kalen's O face looked like after that.
Yeah, my impressive dad bod.
Yeah. Liam put together like a pretty funny video with some music and like the exact second where his nuts hit the water, and like you can see it for sure.
You can see when they touch his chest. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You assholes. My daughter was laughing in the background.
Yeah. Well, Dad of the Year brings his daughter to a challenge, but hey, I respect it, man. You probably thought that they were going to be lenient on you because you brought your daughter. No chance.
Nope.
Not at all.
Absolutely no chance at all. Later on, I'm going to ask you guys about your World Series picks, because now that we're at the All-Star break, I mean, I had the Braves, so let's just go ahead and say, yeah, I'm fucked, so I'm going to have to pick a new one.
Poor Acuna, man. That was such a tough injury.
And yeah, it's tough for like a guy like that to be out of the league now, because I mean, now I don't really have much of a reason to watch a Braves game anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just one team, though. There's other teams that are stepping up this year. Oakland's been fun to watch.
Well, yeah, but he plays for the Braves. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. But you'll just find your love with another team, Shane, is what I'm saying. There'll be another team to replace. That's baseball.
I'm still enjoying a little bit of Blue Jays, but it'd be nice if they made a move to fix up some of the holes that they have, but we'll see what happens with that. There was a little bit of football news that was coming out this morning, and I don't know if you guys saw this or if you can shed any more light on it, but there seems to be some kind of a beef between Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. Is that correct?
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me about this.
Yeah,
I haven't read that yet.
So Patrick Mahomes was at some event, and fans were saying to him like, "Yo, watch out for Herbert. He's gonna get you. Watch out." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't ever see that happening." But
okay.
Yeah,
so he started it, did he?
Yeah. Well, I think the fans started it, but I think that there were some shots fired. So I assume, since you're the Reddit guy, that you would have seen what Justin Herbert's like mom said about it.
Oh no, I haven't seen anything about that yet, unfortunately. But I mean, that's just probably division rivalry buildup. We got a guy who won Rookie of the Year going against the next big thing, or whatever he is, currently the big thing.
Right.
So it makes sense for that to happen. Oakland's such a fucking afterthought in that division. I'm gonna keep calling them Oakland too, Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well,
that's how much of an afterthought they are.
You think they're the last place team in that division?
Yeah. Next year, I do. I don't think that. I think you were kind of right last year about the Broncos. I don't think that they're that far off. I think they're really.
You guys fucking buried me.
I'm gonna gang pile you to make fun when it happens, but yeah, I think that they're not that far off. They're just in a really tough division, and next year playing a bunch of really bad teams, because they're going to be playing all the 4 teams. Yeah. It's going to be minced meat for them. It's going to be easy.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think? You think Kalen's right on that?
I think the Broncos are the bottom again.
Oh, come on. What has Vegas got?
They have Derek Carr. They have a great running game. Their passing game and receivers are getting better. They have a defense that was on the up last year. I think I'm not going to say they're going to go out there and win 11 games. I'm not going to say they're 15-1 like you called out the Titans last year, but I think they can at least win 8 or 9 games.
You might as well say they're going to win 15-1 if Las Vegas is going to win 9 games.
Wow. Well, who knows? That's why they play them. That's why the Titans didn't finish 15-1 last year, because they actually had to play the games after you said it.
That's right.
But
How it happens.
so, well, we're kind of waiting for this thing to get started here, but Chelsea, you're probably getting pretty close to like getting your season going again, eh?
Yeah, there's some events in August. We're not getting after it quite that early, but we'll start playing early September in full, and we'll practice before that. Hopefully, if there's some ice available in the last part of August.
Yeah, well, like right now you're kind of in like whatever, and then you said you're going away for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then after that is pretty much like right back into the schedule.
Pretty close. I'll be back in early August, and there won't be any ice anywhere or anything yet then, but within a couple weeks of getting kind of kicked back up.
Right. And are you guys going to be traveling around for tournaments again, or do you have any idea of that stuff?
Well, you have to. And we don't even all live in the same city, right? So somebody's traveling somewhere for us to get together. So yeah, I mean, in theory, we'll be doing some traveling. We're trying to sort it out schedule wise and budget wise and all that kind of stuff. We it's a start over kind of a situation with a new team. So we need to find some sponsorship dollars, and we need to sort of get that part figured out before we can commit to how much we're going to travel. But yeah, I mean, you have to do some traveling. There's just you can't stay in your own province really. It just it's not really feasible to win anything that way.
Right. Well, we'll make a call to Chris, because I mean that guy. Yeah, we give enough money to CoolBet, so they should be making sure you guys can get to whatever tournaments you want to get to.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Now, are any of those tournaments in Southwestern Ontario for the boys to make a trip down?
We're playing in one in Oakville.
Oh,
That's probably the closest.
that's way
close.
too close to us not to come.
Yeah.
That's the
You-
first one.
And
they
when-
actually have a
when-
couple. They have a series, but the one we're playing in is, I think, September 2nd to the 5th.
I'm gonna write that down.
Is that the long weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't-
all more reason, huh?
Are
Okay.
you ready for us?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shane, I'm calling you now. I'm drinking that weekend.
Yeah, I know you are. Yeah. No, that's good. What do you guys have anything else going on in Ontario?
Right now, that's the only one I know of. There's a few more that we might consider, but they still haven't announced anything about the pre-trials process and who can qualify and how that qualification is going to work. So some of our scheduling depends a little bit on whether or not we have a chance at that, because if we don't, then we'll just we don't have to play that much early. We can just kind of focus on playdowns, because that would be the thing we would be sort of aiming for. But Curling Canada hasn't announced the pre-trials details yet, so we don't know if we have a chance or not. So then we're in a little bit of a holding pattern. Like there's back-to-back events in Oakville. We could go play both, but that's a big expense. So if we don't have a chance to get to the pre-trials, that's probably not worth spending the money on it, kind of thing. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting to hear still.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. Like, have they given you any kind of a timeline on like when they're gonna let you know what's going on?
Who knows? The World Curling Federation was meeting this week to talk about points and how it's all going to how they're going to roll it back in, because they paused everything with COVID. So I imagine that'll have some bearing on what Curling Canada decides to do. So I would think they're waiting for the results of that meeting.
Right. And what what do you qualify for? Is this like an Olympic qualifier, or there's a lot of stuff that goes into it?
It's an Olympic. Well, so like the Olympic trials, there's a bunch of teams that have a direct spot already, but then they qualify a few more teams out of these pre-trials events. So it's trials to get to the trials, and then that one sends you to the Olympics.
Jeez.
Yeah, I always thought it was like the Scotties and the Briars that determine that stuff, but that's just me
for
being
Worlds.
stupid. Yeah.
Just for Worlds. They used to years ago. It was the way they determined the Olympic team, but when the Olympics became an official medal sport, like when curling became an official medal sport, in '98, they started redoing that process a little bit, because it used to be that the team that won the Briar and the Scotties was the best team in the country, but now because people, your province doesn't matter so much, it's not necessarily, because just by having it be one team per province, you eliminate probably 5 of your top 10 Canadian teams don't even get into the event because
Oh.
they live in the same provinces. So, you've got Carrie Anderson and Jennifer Jones and Tracy Fleury all playing out of Manitoba, where all 3 of them are top 5 in the world, never mind Canada, and only one of them is getting out of provincials and into the Scotties. So therefore, it's hard to say that it's the best team. So the
Right.
trials, they take the provincial requirements out of it. That doesn't matter at all. You can play with whoever you want from whatever part, but it allows all your top teams to be at that event. So it's the best of the best more than the Scotties and the Brier. But that's new with the Olympics coming in. It used to just be that everybody stayed in their own province. You put together the best, 3 or 4 other people that you could find within your province, and you tried to go and win the Brier. But it's come a long way as far as being more of a professional sport in that sense. So then they had to change the trials process.
You might have touched on this last time on the show, but I wasn't here, so I'm going to ask. Will a whole team go as one unit, or can you literally take each, I don't know if you're shooters or position, like you pick any skip you want, and then whatever the next position is down the list? Like, can you just handpick how you go about it? Or
For the Olympics?
does the whole team just go?
So it depends. Like, every country can do what they want. In Canada, the whole team goes. Like, you win as a team and you go. And in most of the countries, it's that way. But in some of the countries, they would still have to win. But the governing bodies puts together some teams, so the teams don't necessarily have the complete autonomy to pick their own teammates. The Swedish sports organization gets involved, and they say, no, you're going to play on this team at this position, and blah blah blah. And the U.S. has dabbled in that a little bit, and it's not gone particularly well for them. So they are a little bit back and forth about whether or not the teams get to pick or they get to pick. But in Canada, there's just so much depth and it's just such a hard sport where there's so much downtime and there's so much communication and things that it's hard to put 4 random people together and have it go well right away. It takes a long time. So if you put 4 people, they could be the 4 best individual players, but if their games aren't the same, if their communication styles aren't the same, like, it could just be a complete disaster because of the chemistry piece and the communication piece that is a big factor.
No, I mean, that's pretty interesting because, I wouldn't have guessed that that's how the Olympics were picked. I mean, if it wasn't based on the tournament that I thought, then I would have thought it would be the way that Chad said. But I mean, what you're saying makes a lot of sense too. So it's just cool that it's actually an Olympic sport now, and that we can send you to the Olympics. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. 2 disciplines now. We've got 2 medals for curling because there's mixed doubles as well. So
okay,
and addition.
That's what I was going to ask you, because you do have a mixed doubles partner, and was that an option? So are you trying to double qualify?
You can't do both. So we'll both try to qualify for our men's and women's one, and then that trials is first. The mixed doubles trials is after. So if neither of us win the men's and women's one, which is what happened last time, then we'll play in mixed doubles trials.
Okay. So is that like is it the preferred to do it solo rather than do it doubles? Like, I don't even know how that is. Like, I don't know if people prefer to be a team sport or if they'd rather just do it solo.
There's no solo. There's.
Well, I mean, what do you mean solo? I mean, you mean like mixed doubles or like
she's
doubles?
I mean, she's in curling, not luge.
So mixed doubles is 1 male and 1 female player, and that's it. Just the 2 of you on the team. Where traditional is 4 people of the same gender, like, is the traditional way. So they'll do a men's medal, 4-person men's and women's teams will each have a medal at the Olympics, and then mixed doubles is a separate one. That's
what I meant was, like, is it the preferred, like, doubles with the mixed? Do you or is it preferred to, like, go down like what the historical was, where you're just sticking in your own gender?
It depends. I think different people. The mixed doubles is so new that it's hard to get a good take on how people feel about it because everyone's kind of still figuring it out. It came a little bit out of nowhere that they put it into the Olympics. I mean, it's great. We want more medals for curling, but there's still some adjusting being done. I think most people, just because it's what they grew up watching and stuff, would say that their dream has always been the traditional curling. Like, that's what I want to do. But you're going to start to see pretty quick here it already exists, and you're going to end up seeing mixed people that are mixed doubles specialists. They don't play men's and women's curling. They just play mixed doubles. And there's some benefit to that. It's cheaper because there's only 2 of you, so it's way cheaper and easier to travel. Like, your budget for the year is lower. There's only 1 person you got to deal with and get, communication and all that figured out. So in a way that can be simpler. It moves a lot faster. There's a lot more offense, a lot more rocks in play. So it can be more exciting. It can also be more stressful. So it all just depends. It's quite a different game than traditional curling.
Well, so you mentioned earlier with like the depth that Canada has. If we're going to start seeing more of this mixed doubles become like the norm, is there a country out there that can really rival the depth that we have at that level?
No, there's nobody that can rival our depth at all. As far as like, if you looked at your top, say, 30 teams in Canada, men's or women's, if we sent any of those teams to a world championship, they would very likely qualify and contend and that kind of thing. Where if you go into the other countries, like Switzerland is the next deepest, and they'll always have at least 2 or 3 really good men's and women's teams. And then so Sweden is the most dominant, but they have one team of each gender basically. Like they have a team coming up below, but they're not ready to win yet. So the depth isn't there. They're really good, but they don't have a lot of depth. And that's what most countries, because then they can just pour all their money into a couple people. Like that's the challenge with the depth in Canada is none of us get as much money, like carding and support and all that stuff, because it's spread out over so many players where their association doesn't have more money than Curling Canada, but when they are only funding 2 or 3 teams versus like 16 teams, it just is not spread as thinly, right?
Right. And I mean, the Swedish team is basically built in a lab. It's just a bunch of whites with blonde hair and blue eyes poured into like a mold, and they're just it's like the way that they created Drago in Rocky.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it looks like we're getting pretty close to getting this thing underway. So if you had to like pick an event, like your favorite curling event that you've been in, or like just like a really cool story that we wouldn't have seen on TV, like what kind of stands out for you?
I think the coolest one for me, and it doesn't count for anything, it doesn't matter, but it's just really was a neat experience, was the Continental Cup, which is curling's version of a Ryder Cup, where you have either Canada against the world or Canada against Europe, or sometimes it's North America. If it's in the US, it's Canada and the US against Europe or whatever. And you're part of a bigger team. So there's 3 men's teams and 3 women's teams from each of those countries. And it just is really neat because like you play against the same people every weekend. And you know them really well because you travel with them and stuff, but they're your opponents all the time. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there with somebody who I've spent my whole life trying to beat, and we're talking about, geez, then the third end, did you like that shot? Like, I think maybe we should have done this. And we're sharing rock information and stuff. Like the bigger team thing was really, really cool for me. And you all are sitting on the bench watching all the games. So you've got these raucous, like everybody's got noisemakers and stuff. And when you make a shot, your whole team leans over the penalty box and bangs on the boards and stuff. It was so different than anything else I'd ever done. One of the ones I went to was also in Vegas, which was awesome. So,
that would have been really cool, I bet. Yeah. And
each team has a room at the end of the night, like you sort of go back to this room and you debrief the day and you have drinks and hang out and stuff. Like it was just so neat to have these people who are my rivals as my teammates all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And would that probably be the closest that like curling would have to an all-star game? Like we're about to watch like the home run derby.
Yeah, it would be the closest for sure. They used to do an all-star skins game. Awesome. They haven't run it for a couple of years, but they would just handpick 4 teams, 4 men's teams and 4 women's teams, and they'd bring us all to. They used to do it. They started it in I think the GTA somewhere, but the recent ones were all in Banff, and they put us up at this gorgeous hotel, and it's all made for TV. There's only one sheet, so like you play 1 or 2 games, there's really good money on the line, and it was a really neat experience as well. And that one was, you were just handpicked. So it was more of like an all-star kind of format. But yeah, the Continental Cup, you have to win something to get there. Like if you win the Scotties, you get to go. The Scotties are the Brier. And then, the Olympic team always gets to go when they win, after they win trials, and they go to the Continental Cup, that kind of, so there's like rules about how you qualify. But so it's probably the closest where it's just like the top few teams. It's very, very exclusive event, I guess I would say.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's a cool way to pick it too. And then the next question I was going to ask you is if you had ever played in a skins game and what kind of atmosphere that is, because it's supposed to be fun, but like obviously there's money on the line, so you got to get that competitive juice flowing. But you did play, so like, what year was that?
I've played in it 2 or 3 times. The first one I went to was in 2015.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun, and it's fun because of like the way they treat you and stuff. You're like a rock star. So that's really cool. The crowd is great because they're right. Like it's in a curling club, which is rare for us. Most of our events are in arenas, but because it's only 1 sheet, they put stands on both sides of the 1 sheet right out on the ice with you. So they're like right beside you. You can talk to the fans, and you do like, and they talk to you in the middle of the game about what you're doing and whether or not they like it and stuff. But yeah, it is one of those ones where it's fun, and it's supposed to be fun, and it is, but it's intense too because you want you want to win some money. It's there's a lot on the line there.
Yeah, for sure. And do you find yourself like giving like bad vibes to the other person if you're are you trying to like be like miss the shot like miss the shot.
It's curling's a lot about etiquette, so you don't not very many people actually take any action on it, but you're for sure thinking that in your head constantly.
Yeah.
Like, geez, it'd be really nice if you missed the 4-foot here and gave us a steal of 3. Like that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I golf with Shane, and that's what he does the whole time.
Oh, stop it. Every
I
5
can totally
seconds
see
this
that.
guy is- No,
You
this
stand
guy's
up there
in the bush
50 feet in
fisting
front of
every
you, there's a
5
little river, and you're standing there saying, don't even worry about that river. It has absolutely nothing to do with your shot right now, right?
Hey, we have the golf challenge coming. I'm not giving any strategy away to you guys. So you guys just keep on chatting.
So, okay, you said that it's etiquette, though. Is there not a country that's known to do anything a little borderline?
There's been a few more, not so much a whole country, although there was the whole scandal with the Russians and the doping.
Okay.
That
There's
sounds
doping in curling.
Yeah.
The rules are the same for curling as they are for every other sport. So
Yeah.
I want to see jacked up curlers.
It does matter. Well, there are plenty actually.
Yeah.
Just
Have you
juiced
seen
up.
those rocks? Yo,
Yeah.
Chelsea, give him a flex. This guy is calling you out.
I'm not. Well, skips aren't so much because they're not sweeping, but the sweepers have to be in shape, right? So that's where the difference with doping. Like everybody goes, well, how would doping help curling? Well, sweeping is the biggest difference. Like people ask me what's the differences between men and women's curling, because if you look at the percentages of stats for men's games, they're higher. And I said it's because their margin for error. Like if I had their sweepers, I would be just as good. Like my numbers would be just as high. But it's
Probably
because
better.
they can control. Yeah, they can control the rock that much better because they're bigger and stronger, and so the pressure on the broom head, and the ability to do that for sweeping makes a huge difference. So that's where the doping thing came in. But
Sure.
the rules apply to every sport, every Olympic sport the same as far as what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. It doesn't matter what it is or whether that would have a negative or positive effect on your particular sport. All irrelevant.
Yeah.
Same as like even so marijuana is legal in Canada, it's still banned by the IOC, so it's still banned for the athletes. Like we can't, even though it's legal here.
So you're out, Kaylin. You cannot be an Olympian. There is no chance of you.
Damn
ever
it,
being-
man. I
That
thought I
shit
had an
will-
opportunity still.
That shit will never be out of your system. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break your dreams. I'm sorry that that it didn't work out for you. But maybe you'll be able to be like an Olympic commentator one day. Maybe they don't test those guys.
Yeah.
I think Kaylin, if you peed right now, it'd be green. But let's move on, because there was a little bit of football stuff that was going on, and then there was a couple of things that I wanted to break down. Are you good to hang around, Chelsea, or you want to take off?
I can hang around for a bit.
All right, cool. We're just talking about football now. I just didn't want you to like get stuck here and be like, I gotta go. Did you guys see the thing that JJ Watt said about Phillip Rivers telling him one day in a game that he was lined up wrong because he knew the formation they were trying to run defensively because of all the film he was watching?
Like Philip told JJ that?
Yeah.
Man, Philip is the best trash talker in the league, hands down. He does like the best things that just enough to make you think, fuck, that guy's so smart, right? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and JJ Watt said it was like the coolest thing that's ever happened to him.
Cam Newton did that a couple years ago. Same
He did
thing.
that to that Green
yeah.
Bay Packer player.
Yeah, he called it on the blitz, same exact same thing. It's a pretty cool thing when you see it happen. Because like everything you do as a football coach, you try to disguise every single thing that you do.
Right.
Like you don't want to leave a hint for anybody. So like when you see like these pros call them out on it and they're right, like that's a pretty cool thing. And like as a coach, you're like, shit, what do I do next?
Yeah. Well, in that Carolina game, he called out the play. The defensive player called out and said, watch the wheel. And Cam was like, oh, you've been watching plays, have you? Watch this.
watching
And then
film.
still ran the fucking wheel.
So ridiculous. But that's
Right?
what Cam Newton didn't suck.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy kind of sucks. Chelsea, if I were you, I would take Cam Newton in the Going for Two fantasy league.
Yeah, first pick overall. Take Cam Newton.
Oh yeah.
I think it'll work out really well for you.
Oh yeah. Sounds like a great move. Thanks for the advice.
Yeah, the strategy would be Cam Newton and kickers anytime in the first round.
Yeah, all the kickers
is usually
and
ideal.
defenses, you know.
Yeah, you don't want them all to be snapped up, right?
Yeah, like kicker is gonna make or break my fantasy team, so
Yeah.
gotta get one of those
Yeah.
early.
My team name is 3.25 bags of milk. Just so you're aware.
Yeah. So for any, if I don't even know if we said it before that that you were going to be in the fantasy league. So hopefully, I mean, we'll send you the date. It's going to be all virtually anyway. If you can't draft, then you just auto draft and we'll set your settings so that you end up with
You get Cam Newton.
All the kickers and Cam Newton, yeah.
yeah. But don't worry, we'll work at a trade because everyone's fair, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
No one's competitive in this room, not at all.
oh yeah, no, I'm not either.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be some pretty big trash talk coming from that one over there. Now, I got to ask you guys a question, and Chelsea might be the best one to answer this because, like, she's still actively, like, an athlete and she gets paid to do it. Now, Frank Clark has gotten a massive deal, and he has been paid so much money, and this guy is about to spend 3 years in prison for... Is it felony drug charges or felony
gun?
Firearm.
A felony gun. Yeah, felony weapon charge. He had an Uzi. He had a fucking Uzi in his car.
Oh,
Like-
Jesus.
like you can't say that's for hunting. That's not for protecting
No, yeah,
yourself.
like you can't possibly defend that.
Yeah.
No,
Was it
no,
an-
yeah.
Was
that's
it an
wild.
Uzi or Uzis? Because I thought it was more than one gun.
I thought
Well,
it
you
was
have
just
two
one.
hands. You might as
I
well
thought
have
it-
two guns.
I thought it was just one, and an Uzi isn't in any form like a regulated weapon. So because of that, it becomes a felony. Like it's
You're
a controlled
kidding.
weapon or something.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a fucking Uzi. It's made for war.
Yeah.
There is no reason to have that in the U.S. Like,
Oh.
period. I mean, if somebody wants to own a million guns, I don't care. I'm not like a gun nut. I'm not a regulator. But like, dude, you make $20 million this year to play for the Chiefs, and you're carrying an Uzi around. Like, where was he?
He was just in his car. He just got pulled over. So happened to be in his car.
Does
Oh,
he just keep
that's-
it under his seat?
Bad timing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine cutting that guy off and like that gets pulled out on you?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, terrifying.
Yeah, there's that, and think of the GM in Kansas City. He has to cut the guy now. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to go
Well,
into Whitsack.
I mean, he
You
only
have to
had.
back pay
I
that
shouldn't say
guaranteed
only.
money too. If
I was
got a
gonna, that's
signing
what I was
bonus,
gonna
he'll have
say. I mean, like there was only 8 sacks. I mean, 8 sacks is still a decent amount, but all that guaranteed money now. I mean, they might need it after that Patrick Mahomes contract, regardless of
Well,
the
they'll get
NFL
all that
salary cap
back, right?
situation. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, probably. So they just
He'll
got a
be
whole lot of
back paying
cap
all of
relief.
that.
Jesus,
Yeah.
they're gonna get a little bit richer.
Just doesn't make any sense. I mean, like on Uzi, like just have a regular handgun, like the adults. Like, what is this guy trying to prove?
The part I don't understand is if I'm a professional athlete, I'm driving nowhere.
Right.
Like you can't tell me that you don't have some kid that you've known your whole life that would drive you around for like $50,000. The car's in his name, and if anything ever happens, it's not on you.
Smart.
Yeah.
Like it's just common sense.
So
Well-
he's trying to claim that it was his security teams, one of their members, but nobody's taken real claim for it yet.
Well,
Yeah, well,
hard can't blame them.
Also, he's got
Yeah,
some
no
shitty
kidding,
friends then. He's
Yeah.
got some shitty friends if they're not taking that for him.
Yeah, someone's got to take that charge. But like,
Yeah, we
I'm
all saw
telling you,
ballers,
yeah,
right? You got somebody that can take the fall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Shine
te-
did it for Diddy.
I'm telling you,
That's all
if
I'm
we
saying.
go to Oakville and Chelsea, you and any of your teammates have Uzis, we're probably gonna leave. Like, you guys don't deserve to win at that point. But
I think you're probably safe.
yeah, I feel like we're
First
in pretty
off,
good
I would
shape.
definitely be staying if they all had Uzis.
Yeah, Chad's
That's right up my
weird.
alley.
Yeah, Chad's a weirdo though. But yeah, no, that'll be a good time in Oakville. But yeah, leave your Uzis at home.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Now, during the last
Oh my
episode,
God.
yeah,
The
yeah,
Stanley Cup is so dented, bro.
hmm
oh,
I saw that picture. It's like it's not even round on the top.
It
the
is
top
so flat.
part. Yeah.
they got to be so mad at that.
Oh my God.
What happened? Like, were they throwing it boat to boat?
Oh, I don't even.
I didn't see
That's
them throwing
bad,
it, but
though.
they had it on the Sea-Doos.
Oh yeah,
They had like this. The scuba team was out just in case they dropped it into the water.
yeah. They didn't account for somebody like hitting it off a rock as they drove by it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is so beat up, man.
Yeah,
That is
well,
so ugly.
that's rough. Like, I wonder what. I mean, obviously, there's a way to restore it, but
I'm sure that's not the worst thing that's ever happened to the Stanley Cup. Like when everybody gets to take it to their own hometown and stuff, there's no way there's not story. Like the Briar Tanker, the old Briar Tanker.
Holy shit, Kayla.
The stories with
Right? I just sent you the picture, right, Chad? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like it's not even round anymore.
No.
That's it almost looks like a triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's flat on one side now.
Man,
You
those
said
guys
that they dropped the
party.
Briar trophy too?
No, they never. I don't know, but there was just stories about all the things that, like, there was people that puked in it and stuff with it because everybody's going on a big party. So then they had to put. I remember when my dad won, he said he leaned over when he was standing on the podium, and he leaned over, and the medal, he had the gold medal around his neck, and he heard this thud, and he was like, "What the hell was that?" And it was the plastic cover on top of the Briar Tanker because it had been puked in so many times, and and beer and just gross, like beer drank out of it and all that. So they put a lid on it so that you couldn't do that anymore.
Yo, that's probably like the least weird stuff that's happened to that trophy.
That's what I mean. So there's no way that this is the worst thing that's ever happened to the Stanley Cup. Like I would bet my last dollar on that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing some pretty wild stuff with the Memorial Cup at Jack's back when the Knights won it those couple times.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah. Ovechkin did weird stuff to the cup, like
for sure.
Yeah.
No one has partied harder with a cup than him.
Yeah, that thing was a sugar bowl for a while, I bet.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's been before.
Most 475 plus foot home runs since 2015. Coors Field with 18. The next is 5 at Chase.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we're having some fun tonight. Woo!
You know that over 475 means like
less than 500.
Yeah, 485.
It's
right?
gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen.
Yo, you know,
but they're talking about home runs in game. These are changeups down the middle.
You're talking about, well, it's harder to hit a changeup out, just so you know. That's just science. But you're talking about 3 different players hitting a ball over 500 feet. Dude, after this, they go 8-4-2. Like, you're going to be eliminated from this thing in like an hour. So we got to figure out what we're going to make you do here.
It's tough that Gallo's got to face the homeboy first round, though. That's rough. Trevor Story knows how to hit here.
He's not a home run hitter, though.
I know.
Yeah. So let's see. What should we make Kalen do? Like go swimming at the closest body of water near a golf course, and we'll play golf while he swims beside us through all 18 holes.
What is wrong with you?
I think that's a good one. You don't want to do that?
You're always making me jump into fucking water.
How about fun? You can just pay for a hotel room in Oakville. How's that sound?
Oh, that escalated quickly.
Lane suggested cutting into a mullet.
Oh,
it's not happening. The hair is too luscious.
Lane was on with us last week. That thing looked nice on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't compete with that.
All right, Chad, your boy is up right now. He is currently at 1 home run.
Oh, that one left?
You might be a little bit behind me. All right, I'll be nice.
Yeah. Right now he has 2 outs.
Well, they don't have outs in this anymore. They just go by a timer, eh?
Oh, okay.
What do you get? What do you get? Plus 30 at what? I think is at 450 feet.
Well, his pitcher sucks. Let's just tell you that.
Yeah, his pitcher does suck. His pitcher.
Who the hell? Ugh.
So, Kayla, what you want is like a good amount of speed, like right over the outside part of the plate, and then you can turn on it. Because
this old hag is just getting nothing across the plate right now.
Yeah, the slower it is, the harder it is for you to.
Isn't this? Oh yeah, this. Yeah, okay, never mind.
You have to do all the work if the pitch is slow.
Yeah, and for some reason, my guy's chasing center field. So.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful field, isn't it?
Yeah, they had Peyton Manning out there shagging flies earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was the whole Manning family out there, or just Peyton?
I just saw Peyton, but I mean, his kids.
So that's where he set up shop. He spent all that time in Indy, and Denver's what took him home.
Well, if you were going to pick a city, like no disrespect to Indy, but if you were going to pick out of those 2 cities, where are you picking?
Indy's not very pretty, man.
No,
a whole lot of concrete. Ugh.
It also, yeah, I mean, in Denver, like you get a little bit of like decent weather, but you're on the right coast or the west coast, but you got the mountains there. You got some good scenery. Things are a little bit more wide open. If you're out in Indy, you're just on like a fucking prairie.
Mancini is he the mercy pick for the Orioles? Right? They're just shit. So is he actually even deserve to be there? Or?
Well, they asked them like it takes 50 guys to turn it down before you get to some of these dudes. So like not
Jesus.
not like he can't hit home runs, but I mean Vladdy Guerrero should be in this thing.
Yeah.
Acuna would have been in it, but obviously he would have been replaced. Fernando Tatis could be in this thing.
Yeah, it's easy to break. We're good now. We're getting going.
Yeah. Think of like a Giancarlo Stanton or like Aaron Judge and something like this.
Oh, Aaron Judge. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I know you explained it before. They turn it down specifically just because it messes with their batting swing for the rest of the season, right? They have the rest of the season, but a couple of weeks before they're going to get it back, right?
Yeah, it could be that, and it also could be that they don't want to travel to the All-Star game. They just want to take some time off. I mean,
yeah, I get that.
There's nothing saying that they have to go. I don't think. I mean,
Vladdy's there. It's a shame that he's not in it, man.
Well, when you're as dialed in as he is, right? Like, I'm kind of surprised Ohtani's actually doing this. It's probably more for marketing. Much like I told you, it's more marketing that Ohtani's going to pitch and bat tomorrow. It's like, why? If you're the Angels GM, why would you allow that? For the manager.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty good about my pick right now. He's doing some things now.
Yeah, he's burning himself out. He's gonna like the kid from Oakland's gonna come up and like poor guy, but yeah, this guy is definitely letting the ball go. Like one bit of news I'll break is the ball has not traveled over 500 feet yet, which it's not going to.
Okay, I'm not calling Mancini to be the guy that's going to crush a 500-foot home run.
Yo, did you see that? He just crushed that, and it was like 430.
463 is what it said.
Okay, and yeah.
And you guys are all making fun of his shitty ass pitcher. So what if
commentating on this home run derby?
Oh, he just joined the
two of them.
He just joined the call.
Hey, Liam.
Yeah, Liam's back. Well, we're kind of in between swings here. I wanted to point out.
Jeez, he's shaking like hell. Eh? He just got to be juiced after that.
Kalen and I talked a little bit about N'Keal Harry last week and how his trade value sucked. I just wanted to read you the list of receivers that were drafted after N'Keal Harry.
Mm-hmm. It's lengthy.
Deebo Samuels. AJ Brown.
AJ garbage.
JJ Alega Whiteside.
Yeah. I don't know who that was. I never
that was the guy. That was
that's
the Philadelphia
Eagles,
one, right?
Yeah, okay, that's for the Eagles. Mikael Hardman.
Miko, yeah.
Wow. Did you just correct the way I pronounced the French name?
It's not French. His name is Cole.
Yeah, go burn some more sage, man. You're I can't even see your eyeballs.
M.E. Cole.
Paris Campbell. Andy Isabella. But this is where it starts to get even better because there's three pretty good receivers in this next group.
Yeah.
So DK Metcalf, 3rd round pick. Deontay Johnson, 3rd round pick. Jalen Hurd, who hasn't really done a lot, but like he's been okay. And Scary Terry. Like all of these dudes were picked after N'Keal Harry, and all of those guys have more production than he does. So if you're New England, are you just willing to cut bait with that? Because I know Kalen and I talked about it a little bit, and Kalen wasn't really ready to. So right now he would get a compensatory 6th round pick, apparently. If you're the Patriots, are you ready to give up on that?
I think you have to. You don't have a quarterback that can get on the ball. He's going to want to get paid next year. And I don't know what the rate would go for him, but I think at this point you have to cut your ties and move on.
Yeah. Yo, Kalen, that one was crushed and it didn't even go over 5.
I'm talking about people like Ohtani and Gallo and what's that other guy name I'm trying to think of right now? I can't even think of his name right now. But I think there's 4 people I think that can get over 5 tonight.
That's one more than 3.
And it's 4 less than will actually happen. All right. Well, it looks like your boy finished up with 24, Chad, after his bonus round. So
I like how N'Keal Harry said he's going to show up to training camp, even after asking for the trade. I don't think he has a leg to stand on, man. I think you kind of have to show up to training camp, right?
Yeah, he's kind of in that Conor McGregor camp right now, right?
Yeah, maybe show what you've been practicing in the offseason at training camp and maybe build some buzz for yourself.
Yeah. Well, good for him. I mean, if he can get himself out of there and play with a quarterback that he's more comfortable with. I mean, obviously he didn't click with even Tom Brady. So if it doesn't work between you and Tom, like it might be time to just try something different.
That system's hard though. Like that system's not made for everybody. There's been like great receivers that have gone there and done nothing. So maybe that could be what it is.
Maybe. Well, what do you think, Charlie? Like, what do you think of where the Patriots are at right now? Would you let this guy get out of there? I don't think we can hear you. Are you on mute?
Oh, we got a muted Chelsea. Oh,
and we lost Chad.
We just lost Chad.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't hear you, Chelsea. I don't know if the other guys can. Well, we'll keep going while she figures out her sound.
It happened to me earlier, Chelsea. I just had to leave and come right back, and it was good for me as soon as I did that.
It's the Google Chats hates us right now. All right, well, we'll see if we get Chelsea back. We'll see if we get Chad back. But we're about to. Matt Olson's walking up here, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know, man. Like if I was N'Keal Harry, just show up, put your head down, and do your work, man.
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot else you can do about it.
No, and there's not. I still don't think there's receivers in New England that can really compete.
Okay, so that was crushed. I want to know how far that went, because that's probably almost as far as the ball's gonna get. There she is.
Is it working now?
Oh you're
yeah,
back.
We got you.
Back and in action. All right, so yeah, like what do you think about what N'Keal Harry is to the Patriots, and like should he go back or should he just be sitting out training camp here?
I think they should move on from him. I just think if you're with a team like the Patriots for that long, and I know they're not very good right now, but they were at one point in there when he was playing with them. Like, if Belichick hasn't developed you yet, then you're probably not going to work on that team. I just think it's been like they've put more than enough time into waiting to see him do what he should have been capable of doing, and it hasn't happened. So I think it's probably better for both sides if he gets traded somewhere, but signed by somebody else. Like put him in a different system, give him a different quarterback, a different coach, like something, change something, because it's not working.
Right, exactly. And yeah, I mean, he didn't make it work with Tom in New England. I don't think Cam's the answer. And unless Mac Jones somehow thinks that he's got it figured out with him, like I agree with you guys. It's probably time to go. Looks like Olson's on a pretty good tear here, eh, Chad?
Yeah, this one stings a little bit.
Yeah. That one looked like it was crushed and it only went to like center field. So this 500-foot thing might be a little bit of a pipe dream over there. What do you think is a good punishment, Chelsea?
I have no idea. I'm just excited that there's going to be one.
Yeah. Should we? We'll make him not take his vitamins before one episode and see how he does. Because I know you like
495.
Yeah. What is that less than?
Oh,
I told you, like, yeah, 495 makes sense. But like 500 is a lot, man. That's a big hit.
it is. I know about big hits.
You just shoot out a big shout out to Treetop there.
Yeah.
Are you wearing the hat right now, Chad?
Yep.
Yeah. I got to go there and make a. All right. Well, we're at the 60-minute mark. So, does anybody in the comments have a good suggestion for what Kalen has to do?
I don't see one.
I mean, John Hudson's
sure.
usually good for an idea too. He's probably not on this thing if we don't have any good ideas yet. We should. Okay, I got a good one. We have. He has to try and pin John Hudson. Yeah. So for Chelsea, who doesn't know who John Hudson is, he's about 6'5" and maybe like 320. Chad 310.
Yeah,
He's
probably,
raw.
I bet like he's like I'd say 290 now. He's leaned out a bit.
No,
Yeah,
no, like
but
I
the
don't.
thing is, he knew how to use over 300 pounds of weight. At 290, that's fucking scary. All right, that's me going up against a fucking Kodiak bear. Okay, that's tough.
So you're gonna do it then, right?
What?
Are you gonna,
To
is
get
he
to
on
wear
here?
the bubble suit?
Yo, Liam, is John on the chats right now?
No.
Yo, just tell him that Kalen just challenged him to a fight.
What?
Yeah, well, it's essentially what's happening because you made a bet that you can't win.
I didn't even make the bet. You came
you
up
said
with this idea, and now
and you
you're trying to
said
get me
that
to
you
wrestle
wanna-
a bear.
I think you have to wear the sumo getup. Where the sumo getup just a little depends.
That would be a
And you got to push
fantastic
John out of the
idea.
ring.
If it depends. The
Yeah.
fuck?
Yo, I love that idea. Like we could get hackers involved too if you want.
Yeah,
He's-
I would
he's
take
not a-
Hudson
he's
over
not-
hackers.
Yeah, he's not a little dude either, and he's got like a little bit more of a mean streak. At least Hudson will have like a little bit empathy for you. Perfect.
Is Mancini gonna win that round?
He's got a minute to crank. What are we at?
7.
17. So he needs to get 7 to tie him. So we'll see here. He's got a minute for bonus round. Maybe he'll hit all 8 of them 500 feet.
That's only
See-
one guy, not 3 though.
That's true. Yeah, I was looking ahead at some of our like Mondays and Thursdays coming up. We the CFL starts on a Thursday night, in Hamilton. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be there. Who knows?
I'll do that.
I'll be at
I don't mind
practice.
going to Hamilton.
Yeah, we'll just go stand in front of. Where do they even play over there?
Tim Hortons Field, right off the highway.
All right, just go stand over there and shoot it. We'll bring your team out, Chad. You guys can practice on their practice field after. Yo, a dude just fell out of the
Oh, he
stands.
did too.
Did he really?
He's
Oh
trying to
my
catch the
God.
ball, and he like went over
He
one of the
didn't-
rails.
Yeah, he didn't do it. He didn't catch it either.
Oh, that's a. Oh, well, your boy's going to the
495
next.
again.
Your boy's going to the next round.
Like
Oh,
how
oh,
far
there
over
he
the
goes.
rails?
Oh, was that foul? He missed
You
by
guys are
one.
way ahead of me.
He crushed it foul.
Oh, he smashed his head, eh? Wow, I just saw a replay of it.
Oh, buddy falling out of the stands? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that felt good.
No. You're there. You paid all that money. You probably had a couple beers already. You fall down the stairs. Like, you go back to the hotel at this point, right? Like, that's it.
He should probably go to the hospital. Like,
Hey.
Yeah,
he
it's
concussed.
debatable.
That's
Did
another
he get
good
the
idea.
4? Did he get it? Oh,
No, it went foul, man.
Wow, tough.
I'm on to the
Yeah.
next round. Got it.
You are, yeah. I am surprised. You should have bet on this guy, man. He was like a plus 1,800.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll see who's next here. What's going on? Kalen, you usually come up with some kind of random shit that you read on the internet. What's going on over there?
I don't know. I'm just looking for some fun stuff right now, actually. Well, I don't know if you saw Pierre Maguire is going to be working for Ottawa now for the Senators.
Yeah, well, and good for him. I know he was up for the Penguins job, and I really didn't want that because I would be so sick of hearing where everyone gets their coffee from in the morning at the press conferences.
Man, that guy is just another voodoo doll. Huh? Either you love him or you hate him.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I just think he's fucking annoying. I wouldn't like say I dislike the guy, but I'm not going to sit down and have a couple beers with him.
No?
No thanks.
Well, Ottawa deserves it. I mean, they have a lot of good picks coming up.
Well,
They're going to need somebody who can scout an entire NHL from top to bottom teams. Like the way that knowledge that Pierre has, it's crazy.
Has he had a front office job before though?
Yeah, he was. Did he not do it with? Was it with Winnipeg or Nashville? It was like an expansion team that he worked for, I thought.
I have no idea.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of like what got him the job after to become a sports broadcaster. I felt.
I don't know.
I only know him on TV. I've never once heard about him being with the team. So
Yeah, if you message Huss, he'll probably let you know if it was Winnipeg.
I don't think it was Winnipeg. I think I would remember that, but Huss
Yeah,
would know
but-
better than me.
Yeah, Oh yeah. You're from around there too. I was gonna say that guy knows his Winnipeg sports, but I'm sure you do too.
I do,
think
but I'm not. But I mean, he talks about Winnipeg sports for a living, so his
That's
his
true.
level is a little higher than mine.
I hope so.
Has he had you on a show yet?
No,
What a dick.
he's talked about it a few times, and it's never come together for whatever reason.
So right now it's 2-0 us.
Yeah, you guys are winning in a landslide in that
Yeah.
regard.
He was with the Hartford Whalers.
Okay, so
Yeah, and he was with
It's been,
the
it's
he was
been a
with
while.
the Penguins too. Yeah, and Ottawa before as well.
well,
He was
In a scouting role.
he's with the Penguins and went to the Hartford Whalers.
yeah. Well, there was I don't know if you guys saw the Oilers think that Duncan Keith plays left wing.
Yeah,
Because they traded for him. There's no way they would trade for a defenseman, so they have to. I'm assuming they think that he plays left or right wing.
well, they get a liability, and they gave up a semi-liability and a draft pick, and they took on the entire salary of Duncan Keith.
That's the
I
part
don't-
that surprised me the most was that there
What
was
the
no salary
hell?
retained. That shocked me.
Yeah.
He's 37 years old. We were talking about this. He's 37 years old. We even know how old he was. There's no
Yeah.
reason for them to pick up that salary.
How much
Yeah,
is it?
I couldn't believe that they took it all.
How much is it?
He's making $5.5 million. Which I mean, listen, doesn't sound like a lot. He doesn't
That's
do
a lot of
anything.
money.
Well, they're on
He's
a
an
salary
absolute
cap, yeah.
liability on every single aspect of the sport, outside of a little bit of the PK. He's terrible in everything else.
Yeah.
No, he has a lot of good history though. He scored a game-winning or a series-clinching goal to get the Stanley Cup. Right? He's got 3 of them. So
Well,
lots of hardware.
I told you guys I think that he was a great player, and if someone would have came to me and said that Duncan Keith had retired 3 years ago, I told you I would have believed them because it's just not a name that you hear very often unless you watch a lot of Hawks games. So I'm sure O'Keefe's not too happy to hear that, but I don't know. Like I haven't heard a lot from him recently. It's probably because the Blackhawks haven't been relevant for a few years.
Yeah. O'Keefe is he's got mixed emotions there. He's gonna miss the hardware not being in the locker room anymore. But he was pretty happy of the fact that the salary went all the way to Edmonton. I can't believe another West team took it on though. It's wild. I thought he would have to get dumped in the East.
Hey, if it somehow turns into something that pushes them over the top, like good for them. I think that they're missing a lot more than what he's going to offer them. But it's guys like Jason Spezza and Joe Thornton that were able to pull the locker room together in Toronto, albeit at a much slower salary.
I was
But-
just gonna say,
yeah.
not for $5.5 million.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe he brings a little bit of a different vibe to the place and shows the boys how to figure it out a little different.
I got some breaking news for you guys.
What's that?
John Hudson has accepted Kalen's challenge.
Oh,
There was no
boy.
challenge.
Oh boy.
I'm bringing bear mace.
I don't know if that's going to work.
It's not going to help you. Yes. This is going to be fantastic.
Oh, fuck. Story just hit win 500.
That's okay.
520.
There's one.
Yeah, well, let's see when they bring out the official measuring tape.
There's no official. There's
Yo,
one.
every
Otani and Gallo.
every single person watching this home run derby now doesn't want anyone to hit the ball 500. so that
Why do you
wrestle
think I'm
John
public
Hudson.
enemy number 1 here?
Well, because I'm making you public enemy number 1.
Wait, if I win, does that mean that you have to wrestle him, Hudson?
I don't think so. We already decided that one for you. You have to decide something different for me.
Oh God. You still got that really hairy chest? Maybe we can do that. Shave something into that. Take a picture of it.
Should we
Remember what
get the,
Gagliardi used to do?
get the guy like at Smooth Our Balls to bring the thing? That's that.
Oh, you dropped it already.
Yeah, sorry. We're at overtime. That's what it's called.
That's a good way to drop it, though. A good way to show it off.
Yeah. Hey. Sure. If you want to do that, Kalen, all the power to you.
520 feet. I'm trying to put into my mind like how far that really is.
It'd be 520 feet from where you are right now.
Thanks, Chad, you asshole.
Yeah.
Hey,
Just
did you see
break it
the
down easy for
majors? The majors started this weekend, eh, Shane?
Yeah.
think
Chad
they
and I
were
were going to
sold
go,
out.
but they sold out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Unfortunately, rained out too yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't even raining here. I was pissed. I had tickets.
And but they put in work though that one game, right? They really dominated.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I think they won by 8 or something like that.
That's all right. The Chelsea, the majors are the local team here. It's like it's not minor league baseball. It's like assistant to the regional manager kind of thing. Like
I see. Yeah. I gotcha.
like I think that they get paid a little bit, but like they're not considered professional. I don't think.
It's like one step above beer league.
Yeah,
It's still played on the world's oldest active diamond. That's
well, hey,
with that.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's good old Labatt Field. Oakfield's not far from here, so we can always we'll take you for a tour of Labatt Park.
Perfect. Sold.
Deal. All right. Well, looks like Story's kind of putting on a show here, but that 500-foot home run might have hurt his back. So I don't know. I don't know if he's got anything left in him. Probably going to teach a good lesson to the rest of the guys not to swing so hard. Just
he went 498 and 518.
Yeah.
And he blew his load a little early, it looks like.
Yo, your boy's up next, Kalen. Wait till you see this guy swing.
Gallo? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty even.
It's pure. That's right. And he didn't play in it last year, right? Or 2 years ago, sorry. I don't think he did. I think he skipped out.
I think he was hurt.
Yeah, so I think so. That's what I'm excited for, to see with the new extra, because there's going to be players that are going to dig for those extra 30 seconds that you can get, right? I can't remember how many feet that is. I don't know if it's 450 or 460 that you have to get for that.
Yeah, I mean that sounds right. 450 probably sounds right. Because I mean that's a realistic like stretch goal for a home run in this. Like, imagine if they made it something stupid like 500, and
yeah, hit it 3 times, you get a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah. So we never really said is it 3 people or
it's 3
over
people.
3 people? Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that we're talking the same language here. So if Story does it more than once, it's okay.
It doesn't matter.
Yes. That's gonna be fantastic. I hope
Listen, see, Chelsea, they were very confident, and now they're just digging for outs. Do you hear that? So it just has to be more than one guy. Okay.
We're not digging for outs. We're just talking about the actual bet. Sorry that you didn't read the contract.
Stop it.
You should probably do that. Like in your line of work.
You can talk to us about it after Hudson's throwing you around like a rag doll. You can talk to us about it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna set up a little inflatable pool in my backyard, and you guys can just go at it in there like a bunch of savage animals. He's gonna toss you around like you're a salmon in his mouth.
Filthy.
Yeah, I think Story might have tweaked his back. It's too bad.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know. He swung really hard on that 500-footer.
Hometown kid, man.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's going to be a Blue Jay in a couple of weeks.
Is that the player you think they're targeting?
Yeah. If they made this guy their third baseman, they might be unstoppable.
They would also have such a logjam at DH, though.
Why?
Well, wouldn't that mean that's where Vladdy would have to move to?
No, Vladdy's playing first base right now.
Who was playing first before? Wasn't he on third for a bit?
He was on third last year.
That's right.
Yeah, and then he switched positions and lost about 45 pounds or something.
Didn't they just trade Rowdy Tellez, though, because of the backup at DH?
No,
wasn't that the reason they got rid of him?
Because they have 4 strong outfielders.
And he was the DH option, wasn't he? And that was the only way he was going to get in the field.
Anybody can play DH.
No, but I mean, I'm saying your top hitters, and Doughty hadn't been a top hitter for a bit, but he was for a while in the beginning.
They just moved on because he sucked. So
and they desperately needed some bullpen help, so they got a couple relief pitchers back.
Yeah, and you want to try and trade for things and not affect your roster too much unless you're getting something significant in return. And like what they got from the Brewers was probably a little bit like a guy to pitch the 7th inning and hopefully a guy that's there for depth if they need him. And that's better than what Tellez was producing for them. So you might as well move on.
He's going to get a real opportunity over Milwaukee. No doubt.
Yeah. Toronto seems to always kind of work. Like they work a lot with Milwaukee. You remember Eric Thames. He used to be a Blue Jay. Mm-hmm. And then he went to Milwaukee and got super yoked. And then he hit like 500 or 50 home runs one year. I don't even know. I don't think he plays anymore. I really want Gallo to come on here. Why are they delaying so much? I think the first round went too fast.
20 more seconds.
There's some Nike commercial on my stream.
That's what I'm getting right now. Yeah.
I am watching Joey Gallo's batting from. It looks like the minor league home run derby, and now they're just showing some like crazy home runs. So Joey Gallo's longest career home run was 495 in Texas.
Woo!
You're gonna see that in a sec. Air's light in Texas too, man. Let's just see.
Is it? I thought it was.
I have no idea. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just chirping you.
All I know is that in 2014, Gallo looked a whole lot smaller. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
That he looks smaller? Yeah.
He looked a lot smaller in 2014.
He must have hit a growth spurt or something.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he cheated, but he's definitely put in a little bit more work.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually it doesn't make you taller though. So that's a weird thing. But who knows what they're injecting into you right now?
Yeah, straight HGH.
Yeah. I went and got the second vaccine and they're giving me all the things. They're like, and there's Toradol in this one. I was like, what the fuck for? Like, all right, well, fuck it. I mean,
Woo, I love that. That's
I'm already sitting here. Yo, Gallo is having a tough time here. You can't get the ball in the air. Oh, that one's fucking crushed.
You're a bit ahead of us.
Oh, he hit the wall still. Ooh. Yeah, see, he just realized if you hit it 350 feet, it still counts.
These kids are as useful as I am in the outfield. I'm just saying.
At least they can see what they're doing.
I don't know if that makes it better.
That's fair. Well, Gallo just called timeout. He's got 4 home runs. He's got about a minute and 48 or 44 left. So it's gonna be tough.
I gotta hop off this call though, guys.
All right. Well, whatever. We might as well just wrap it up. We'll pick up again on Thursday. Good luck with your bets. Make sure you check out Coolbet because I'm sure they're gonna have different stuff going on here. Thanks again to Baga for the show. Big thanks to Chelsea, and I'm sure that we're gonna have you on a third time before Huss comes off of his high horse for you. But we'll have you. It'll probably be somewhere around like either just before we do our draft or just after we do the draft, so that we can all chirp Kalen for shit. And I'll make sure to tag you in the video of Hudson.
Yes, please. I
rocking him so we can send it to you. All right.
Going through a table, I feel.
Well,